A warm welcome to each one of you. This is the Naomi Talk Show with you truly, Liz Kenywa, and kama kawaida, I'd like to appreciate each one of you that has become part of the big family that we are becoming. Asanteni sana for choosing to grow us and choosing to spread the gospel of what we are doing here. And if it's your first time to come across our work, this is what we want to assure you. 3 things you will get in every story, every episode we get to air. You'll be equipped, you'll be inspired, and you'll be educated to do life the way God intended. Because God did not place us in the space of the earth for us to get lost, confused, disoriented. He had a way, a manual of how we ought to do life. But as human beings, we have become quote unquote smarter and assumed that probably the way God wanted us to do life is not actually how it's supposed to be done. And that contributes to the confusion and the mess we find ourselves in. So at this space, we endeavor to bring the info, the knowledge, all of it based on scripture and on the word of God, founded firmly on the biblical principles. So rest assured, you need to get a pen and a paper because a lot of learning will be going on, especially on our topic that we are just about to begin discussing. We want to discuss what it takes to transition boys or a boy to a man. I don't know how many are worried of what we have in our society today, because we are having men who do not have the stamina, the strength to take up the responsibilities of being a man. We don't know who has failed, but one thing we want to do is try and see if we can come up with the solutions, or have we also ignored the challenges they are in and assumed only the girl needs a lot of attention, the girl needs a lot of focus, and forgotten that this girl who is getting super empowered will one day get married to a man who needs to also be taught how to handle a powerful woman, a woman who no longer now comes home with bacon but owns the bakery and is super powerful. So that balance is what we want to start striking by our discussion for today, because I strongly feel and I have a conviction, and most of you can agree, that the boy child seems to have been forgotten. Mpaka hapo, I agree, tuko pamoja. So today I have an amazing guest who will take us through this discussion. A man who is respected in our community, and I'm sure he'll get to introduce himself. And I can assure you, whatever he'll tell you is the truth, nothing but the truth founded on the principles of God. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Kindly introduce yourself to our guest.
Oh yes, my name is Reverend Dr. Mugambi Muku. I am the senior pastor, Glory Christian Church, and I also run a youth ministry, which is an NGO called National Christian Youth Network. And indeed, we have raised and mentored a lot of young people in our ministry, even through an event that is dubbed Jesus Night, that happens every first Friday of the month in the city. And I thank God that we have made an impact. I am married to one wife. She is called Lucy Wajiko Mugambi. And I thank God that we are called into ministering and into doing what the Lord would have us do in this life and make a change and transform the lives. So I'm glad to be here on set today with you, Liz. By God's grace, I've been able to get on the set, and I thank God.
We are grateful. We are grateful, and even for your time. When someone gives you their time, it's like they're going to the bank and withdrawing a huge amount of money and giving it to you, because time is money.
Sure, that's true.
And people have programs and schedules. So when they give you their time, actually, we feel honored. And we totally, totally appreciate.
Thank you.
Now, I believe you're also a father of many, even spiritual sons.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know whether you can see that there is a widening gap with a lot of focus being placed on the girl
Yes.
and the boy seemingly being left.
Indeed, you have hit the nail on the head. From the Beijing conference, where there was a deliberate push to empower the girl child, it happened that it's a good thing,
Yeah.
but at the expense of neglecting the boy child, such that every NGO, every church, every government, if they do something that is going to empower the girl child, it's well funded. But if you talk about the boy child, you're on your own. There isn't any funding to facilitate. And indeed, you find that the neglect of the boy child over the years is what has produced the crop of men of whom we are seeing today, who have not been so empowered over the female side. And we look at that and wonder, even as pastors, because we are the ones who preach that the man will be the head of the wife. And indeed, this girl is looking at you and wondering, Pasi, huyu ndio unasema atakuwa the head. Kweli kabisa. And it has to be a deliberate move for us to empower the boy child.
Yeah.
And also, we need to have mentors who will stand with them. We know why a lot of boys today want to almost dress like women.
By the way,
It's because they come from single mother families and their mother is their hero.
you know, let me intercept there. I look at many celebrity males.
Yes.
They begin from cross-dressing. You want to dress like a female, everything, do lipstick, wear the wigs, even do your nails. And you can't be popular if you came up as a man.
You see, for them, is so much inside of them that their mom has been their hero. She's the one who has suffered with them. And that's why you see one song after another they dedicate to mama. Because could be the father is a stranger.
Wow.
They don't know even who they are. And would like to say that those men who are out here to step in and be the role model. But how comfortable would you be, Liz, if your husband is being a role model to a son of a single mom? You'd think there may be something else going on there other than just role modeling. So a lot of women may not release their husbands to step in and be those role models in the case where there is an absentee dad. They call them deadbeat dad. So it's a matter of where we become very deliberate, like it was in our African culture. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So let's not draw the single mother's son and say, you stay with your mother and not give them a father figure. When we look throughout the Bible, nobody came up without a role model. If it's Joshua, he had Moses. If it's Elijah, had Elijah. If it's Timothy, had Paul. If it's Ruth, had Naomi. Therefore, there is no way you can call a boy you become a man of your own. That cannot happen.
Thank you. Please
When
emphasize that again.
you cannot. There has to be a role model, somebody that they can look up to, and that somebody should be one who is of good character. Somebody also who depends on Jesus Christ, who is the super role model for all of us. And therefore, I challenge men, please, let us rise up. Women have so many things going on for them. Every time we celebrate International Women's Day, Mother's Day is a big deal.
And you know also, Valentine's Day, there's a lot of emphasis on the woman.
The Valentine's is for women.
You know, I don't know.
So we sneaked in Father's Day, but you see,
It's very quiet.
It's very quiet. Therefore, at the end of the day, a boy child is totally neglected. They are what you can say today, they are surely endangered species.
Exactly.
And the boy child is on their own. And now the man they have become, you want to blame them, but you don't see the system they have been taken through. And for sure, without any morals, without any ethics, without anything that they can hold on to, without the right teachings, then many of them will end up in drugs, in crime, and they will fill up our prisons for no reason at all. Some are very petty crimes, but is because of lack of a role model.
Yeah. You know, at that point, you've just reminded me, I know we had mentioned this off camera, that in one of these correctional facilities in this country, where they have the minors, you find the ratio of the boys, minors, to the girls is like 1 is almost to 10.
Absolutely.
Because the one that I visited, the girls are 23, 25. And I was told the highest number that they can ever accommodate, ever, is 40. You cross over to the boys' side, that particular day there were 100, and they tell you their days they get to 140.
Oh my. Look at that. It tells already, the numbers are there.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go very far to look at how terribly neglected the boy child has been. Yeah. Even these churches who do the rite of passage, like the circumcision, they have to do it on their own. Nobody comes to fund that program. It's them who have given of themselves to do it and help in actually mentoring a bit and taking these boys, not just through the physical circumcision, but also some teachings. But look at it. There is no organization, there is nobody, not even a government ministry or anything that looks into how the boy can be empowered at one point or another in their lives.
Wow. Hey, tuko na kazi.
That is very, very, very true.
Tuko na kibarua, but
Yes.
I think we are waking up to those realities and trying to make as much noise as possible, bring in information that we need to be able to let the boy child realize that we have seen the gap.
Sure.
And we need to try to do something. So to this young boy who is transitioning to a man, what are some of the struggles as a man of God relating with them out here that you have seen they experience?
Yeah, they experience a lot of struggles because, you know, in nature, men are not very vulnerable. Men bottle up things. You know, for you ladies, you may just go out there.
Yeah, with a total stranger and you start chatting.
And moment you come back in, you are laughing with somebody and I think you've been friends for God knows how long.
Exactly.
But as men, to open up, to interact, it takes time.
Yeah.
And that's why men usually sink into depression a lot easier than women, because at the end of the day, a man umeambiwa ni kujikaza kimwanaume, and you have grown being told that you are the man. You have to prove that you are the man. But sometimes there's nothing there to prove. You are vulnerable, you are human, you are affected. I tell you, like in my family, I really looked up to my dad. My late father, Bishop Muko, was a phenomenal preacher, and he touched so many lives. And I can tell you, all the years, we have lost people in the family. My mom would cry her eyes out. I've never seen my dad shed a tear. He has to stand strong. And that's what maybe he was telling us, that as a boy, as a man, you have to do what? Be strong. But that would be affecting him without knowing. You try to stay strong and you don't know where to fall back to. So I encourage the boy child to open up. Look for a responsible man of God, mentor, whom you can open up to. It could be even within a family setup. You could have an uncle, you could have even a grandparent who is very concerned and can listen to you. Open up. Tell them what you're going through, the challenges you faced with, and they may be able to guide you, to caution you, and to walk with you, because that's what matters most. Let's not tell the boy child, you on your own, you are a man. Jikase kimwanaume. Do what you're gonna do. Men need help.
Yeah.
We have to say it, mean it, and do it. Because at the end of the day, we will have a lot of men who will not measure up to the task awaiting them in the family, in the business field, in the marketplace, and in every other circle. Because at the end of the day, the man is the leader.
Very true.
It doesn't matter how far you rise. When you go home, Mr. Kenywa is the head.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So that's why I say the man is the leader. Because sometimes we feel like we are pushing so hard to bring the women into the limelight and push them as leaders, and there ain't anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But not at the expense of realizing when you go home, you go to a leader, the head of the world.
According to the order of God.
According to the order of God.
Exactly.
So we cannot alternate that and now start preaching that the wife will be the head of the husband. That will never happen. And that's why at the Garden of Eden, in the cool of the day, God did not come calling Eve, Eve, where are you? Because the responsibility and the mandate was given to Adam. He called Adam, Adam.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what we are also saying, what I'm hearing you say is that being a man also comes with responsibilities that have to be modeled for this boy to be able to realize this is how a man ought to function.
Yes.
For them to be able to sustain and keep the family going.
Yes.
But then we also have a place where this boy is transitioning, because miaka inasonga hajaekelewa mawe.
Oh, yeah.
Lazima grow.
Yeah.
What would be the effect of this boy who is transitioning and has an absent male figure to model what it is to be a man?
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, I believe that is where you are saying kuna mwanaume anaambiwa uko na umama Why is mwanaume anaambiwa?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the role model, the one they have been looking up to, has not been a man figure. Every boy child should have a father figure in their life. We all have the Heavenly Father, Jehovah God, but every boy child should have, and we should have a deliberate move to make sure every boy child should have a father figure in their life.
Yeah.
Because for the girl, they can take after their mother. They can get everything. And there are so many women around to guide and work with the girl child, but there isn't enough men to rally around the boy child. So that's why we're saying it has to be deliberate for us to see that the boy child is getting a father figure. And it cannot be left to maybe the single mothers. You as a single mother, look for somebody who will be a father figure to your son. No, we should be, as a church, as a government, as every organization, look at how are we able to empower this boy child? How are we able to pair them with somebody who could be a mentor and they can look up to them? And in that way, we will have bridged the gap of every boy child having a father figure or a mentor in their lives. Yeah.
So I'm hearing you say everybody has to arise, and especially the men have to wake up. Every corner, every sector.
Yes.
And provide the support system. Because actually, even from Beijing, every other program that was there was not necessarily directly from mother to their child.
That's
it
true.
was from women to women.
Yes.
Empowering each other, coming up with programs and everything.
Yeah.
And so the men need to rise up. But even from the pulpit point of view, looking at the ratio of men and women, even in our churches, I don't know whether it's the same in your space.
Yes.
But from where I come from,
Yeah.
the ratio of men and women in church.
Yes, actually, the truth of the matter is that churches are filled up with women. The number of men is actually dwindling. And it's a matter of where the man is feeling the desperation. And they're looking at everything around them and feeling it's not working for them. So even church
It's not working.
is not working. Therefore, that's why it has to be you see, women are emotional. They are very emotional beings. And that's why a lady could cry when they feel sad. They could laugh it out very well. Ladies are very huggy. And men are very rational. They always push back. And indeed, it's very difficult to get to the heart of the man and win them over. It's not as easy as it is for the ladies. Therefore, for us to really appeal to that boy child from when they are little, because at the end of the day, there are things that we want to bring into them when they are grown. But there, as you say, is difficult to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
It's difficult to bed an old tree. Therefore, even for this, is very important. We see that the boy child is oriented into the spiritual matters early in life. And also, there's a lot of push, whether from the society, whether from the parents, whether from the family. You'll be a doctor, you'll be an engineer, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be this, you'll be a pilot. And if they don't measure up to that, you make them feel like a failure. And maybe there is what they are good at, and you don't appreciate it. You say, this person, they lost their way.
They'll amount to nothing.
They
and all
amount
these
to
things.
nothing. But to ask you, if everybody became a lawyer, who would be driving the matatus here today?
Nobody.
If everybody became a doctor, who would be the conductor? Who would be doing all this manual work? We need everybody, and they operate in their space. We respect what they do because it's important. So it's very important to instill the value in the boy child and tell them it's not about what you do or who you are. You are special. And that is why I could ask, if you're with a man, you provide rent, you provide food, you provide clothing, and he keeps telling you, I'm looking for a job, I'm trying to hustle. How long will you respect that man?
Na wifi ikikatwa na kupigia simu anakuambia be si ulipia wifi.
Now we have to come to the reality of where we are, especially in our nation.
Yeah.
Where we are promised of jobs which we know they are not there. Where we're promised of so many things, but for those things to come, we know it's going to take time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. How will this man make something out of themselves? So we respect a man who is pushing the mkokoteni and making an honest living. So ladies, don't give our men a very hard time also.
Amen. On behalf.
On behalf of my derewa wanaume.
I say amen for that, because actually it is true. I think even when you listen to the young people, one of the greatest fears, especially for the men, is that the ladies are coming in with very high expectations.
Yes.
And this man is just also trying to figure out life. Young, and at his age, definitely there are milestones he may not have achieved or attained.
Yeah.
But the lady is
rising and rising.
Yeah.
Actually, you find the latest report is that in the boardroom, there will be 7 ladies to 3 men.
Wow.
And I can tell you, a lot of men are real comfortable. When their wives are pursuing masters, they drop them, they go to a bar, they just be relaxing for her to finish the class, waende nyumbani. So the woman is being empowered, and the man is not seeing that at the end of the day, this empowered woman cannot keep on looking up to you if you do not measure.
Yeah.
Let's not lie and super spiritualize things and say, if the Bible says the man is the head, he has to remain the head. No, you have to work on that head to be equal the task of being the head to the wife. And that's why it's very important to have an empowered boy child, not at the expense of also losing what the girl child has gained. We want the girl child to continue being empowered so that we don't flip chart, whereby we say we get to empower the boy child again and neglect the girl child, like what was done with empowering the girl child and neglecting the boy child. It's very important to know it has to go hand in hand, so that when it comes now to having a family unit that could be together, could work together in equal understanding, looking up to Christ as the center, you can tell this can work. But at the end of the day, if we continue with what the trend that is happening with the boy child, we may not have the kind of family that we envisaged.
May the Lord help us.
Yeah.
We really need to arise. But I like the fact where you're saying the man should not also be too comfortable and sit back when the woman is
Yeah.
growing, quote
That's the
unquote.
thing.
That the man should also be putting in some effort to grow in his area of gifting, his strength, his career. Isikuwe tu ni mama anaendelea anafanya madoctorate, anafanya ma PhD zake.
But that's why I'm
Jamaa
saying,
alifika.
mama anaendelea, because the girl child, there's somebody pushing them. The boy child, nobody is pushing them. There is no mentor to tell them what we are saying. So the girl child, you are sitting with a girl and saying, you can do it. You can do it, girl. Yeah, I know you can register for your MBA. Let's go here. Let's do this. Somebody is working with them, empowering them. The boy child has his buddies in the bar.
Walifika, waliona hiyo
Hao wako
ndio.
sawa.
Oh my goodness.
Wakutane pale. Wapige sherehe. Wajienjoy. Yeah.
Mungu
And
atusaidie.
at the end of the day, they don't see how time is going and what is happening. There are so many men who drop their families at the gate of the church and go. Anasema acha nikaoshe gari, service ikiisha nitawakujia.
Because at the end of the day, they lack a role model who...
Yes. There is nobody they look up to in that church. They believe that every sermon that is being preached is just emotional. It's not addressing the real issues that they are going through. So why would I waste my precious time sitting through that? Yeah, juu wanafikiria kanisa sasa ni usikie utoe sandaka uende. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and it has to be deliberate.
I'm hearing that word, deliberate, intentional, deliberate, and that's what we are screaming from this place, that for the man to be called out of that boy, then people need to arise, men need to arise kindly and walk, be the mentors these boys are looking for, be the inspiration these boys can look up to. Because if we continue the way we are going, then we are going to revert the order of God, where we'll have the females at the top and then men somewhere just taking orders, you know, almost at the same level with the children.
That is the thing. And you see, even Jesus was very deliberate. He was looking up to his father. He said, my food is to do the will of my Father who is in heaven. So he followed what God the Father had sent him to do. And he impacted 12 men who worked with him for solid 3 years to impact. Therefore, the question is, who is the boy child working with?
Can I answer that? The mothers.
Look. Now, that answers your question. You are asking, why are they dressing like this? Why are they behaving like this? It's very clear. the mother is the role model. And that affects also the leadership everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the way from the family to the church, to the nation, to every sphere. Men need to rise up. Men need to have a day where we address the issue of the boy child head on without beating about. And I'm sorry to say this because we are on this show, but the question is, I'm glad we are talking and making this known. But from here, we have to do something.
Yeah. Roll up our
Because if
sleeves.
it just remains a TV show, a YouTube channel show, but not go into impacting somebody to rise up and come with a testimony and say, this message that I heard from Reverend Dr. Mugambi on this show today challenged me to look at a neighbor who is a single mother, has a son. Then it may not make any change. But all of us, all around, where we come from, there are a lot of boys,
Yeah.
who have no role model.
Yeah. I know.
It's important we do it and work on. Because, you know, there is a boy who found at the beach a lot of starfish that was washed off the ocean. And he kept picking and tossing back to the water. And this man came along and asked, boy, what are you going to do with all these starfish? There are thousands and thousands of them. And the boy didn't even bother, bed and picked another starfish and tossed it right into the water and looked at the man with a big smile and said, I made a difference in that one's life. Therefore, let's not look at the overwhelming numbers of the boy child. If each of us did our bit, you would realize in no time, every boy child is being taken care of. Yeah, don't say, I cannot take the 10, the 20. Yeah, it's not your responsibility. But if you take one, I take one, somebody else take another, then you find the work becomes easy. Yeah, and every boy child would come with a testimony of what difference it has been. Because even where you are working today, Liz, somebody cannot come and take this job without knowing where to start. You have to give them kind of show them around, tell them this is how this operates, this is how we do this. But they cannot come and say, let me run the show. They wouldn't know even where to begin. So even for the boy child, they want to be that man, but where do they begin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you've just reminded me. Kitambo kidogo, there was a movement that was saying adopt a light.
Yes, yes.
A light, not lights. A light.
Right,
So here you're saying everyone should be intentional
Yes.
to at least adopt one.
One. Absolutely.
Not the entire community, just one. Because once you change one life, then that replicates and then that becomes another one and another and another.
That's
and
the
then we
thing.
will end up changing our society. Because yes, across you go to classrooms,
Yeah.
the numbers of the boys are not doing very well.
Yeah.
You go to the workspace, you even church, I mean leadership roles, again you see another gap emerging. And even in the churches that were quite conservative,
Yeah.
now are having no option but to bring in the women,
Absolutely.
because the men are not there to rise up to those positions.
And you see, God does not run short of options.
Yeah.
Where men cannot rise to the occasion, He will raise women. That is for sure. But the rightful place is for the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let not the men, let the women do what they have to do. Because even if I'm driving and my wife sees where we are headed, Kwa Kichaka, she won't just sit and say the man is in control. She'll have to jump to the steering and control so that we do not ram into a tree or something like that. So at the same time, that's why I'm saying, yes, is a rightful place God has given us men. But it's not automatic that you just sit there and wait for it to happen. You have to work towards it. And that shows that the girl child has worked 3, 4, 5 times more than what the boy child has been given the opportunity to. Yeah. But today, anything you start with a girl child, whether it's sanitary pads, whether it's FGM, whether it's a pregnancy crisis or whatever you may want to look at it, it will be very well supported. And everybody will be talking about it. And you know, like many organizations, sorry to say, all they are looking at is the funding. What will I do? A proposal and get funding quickly. So if they realize the one for the boy child is not going to make it, they opt for whatever will go with the girl child. And I think also we may appeal to those donors, please, may you look at the boy child. May you empower organizations that are working with the boy child. May the government come with projects and programs and activities that are geared towards empowering the boy child. So that at the end of the day, the man that will come out of the molding, the shaping, the training, the guidance, and all that is going to be a man who is impeccable, who is going to be a man of integrity, and who is going now to raise a family that will be a replica of who he is. Yeah.
Wow. We are going to arise, and I can assure you the women will support
Thank you.
these initiatives.
Thank you.
And whenever, because we also seeing those gaps, we are getting concerned because yes, tumepata wasichana pia wataolewa na nani? So that's why we need to hold our hands together. Let there be a movement, a revolution to let the boy be called out to the men that they are supposed to do. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, welcome. It's run so quickly.
We look like we've just scratched the surface, but I'm sure we can always pick it up, the discussion later.
Sure.
Because what we want to do is let the boy feel they are appreciated, they are valued, they are important, their needs matter as much as we're also looking at the girl and not losing the balance. So thank you. We'll definitely look for another opportunity to have you back here. And asante sana. And as I always like to end, I like having a quote, and this is my quote. Let's be the generation that teaches our sons to love and to respect women. And that's fine. Let's raise our sons to be good men, instead of teaching our daughters to always be aware or to always be on the lookout for the weaknesses in the men. Right there, we'll have created a balance, and we'll have a society and a community and a family that will function at its best. God bless you. See you next time.